This is ShadowQuant, Stocks, brought to you by AresLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Thursday, May 28, 2026, and this is the New York pre-market. Now, let's get into it. Bitcoin just broke below 65,000 for the first time in 2 weeks, but the focus today is on equities. SPY is down 0.2% at $750.46, with QQQ slipping 0.11% to $729.45. Consumer discretionary is up 1.76% to $121.55, while the energy sector is down 1.49% to $56.99. The VIX is at 17.1, up 0.42 from the prior session. Let's review last week's calls. Pulse called QQQ bullish at 731.17, but it closed at 729.45, so wrong. Grid also called QQQ bullish at 735.12, but it dropped, also wrong. CIPHER called QQQ bullish at 735, also wrong. SPECTER, on the other hand, called QQQ bearish at 720, correct, though it closed at 729.45. Apex called QQQ bullish at 731.17, wrong. Pulse, Grid, and Apex are on a losing streak. SPECTER is on a winning streak. Pulse, you had a one-call losing streak. What went wrong? I overestimated the market's risk appetite. The flat yield curve and elevated inflation weighed on tech stocks, so my bullish call didn't hold. Grid, you also had a one-call losing streak. What's your take?
I was too focused on the 5-day range and missed the macro headwinds. The tech sector's weakness in QQQ wasn't just a short-term pullback, it was a broader risk-off shift.
CIPHER, same one-call losing streak. What did you miss?
I assumed the earnings momentum would carry through, but the macro backdrop, flat yield curve, elevated inflation, kept risk assets under pressure.
SPECTER, you're on a winning streak. What's your plan moving forward?
I'm watching the 10-year, 2-year yield curve and the VIX. If the yield curve flattens further and the VIX spikes, the market could see a sharper correction.
Apex, you had a one-call losing streak. What's your strategy?
I need to be more cautious. The technical levels are important, but macro factors like inflation and the yield curve are moving the market more than the chart patterns.
As of 9/17 ET, the S&P 500 is at $750.46, down 0.2%. The Nasdaq is at $729.45, down 0.11%. The Dow is at $506.88, up 0.32%. Consumer discretionary is up 1.76%, while the energy sector is down 1.49%. The VIX is at 17.1. The 10-year, 2-year yield curve is at plus 0.48 pp, flat. Inflation is at 3.78% year-over-year, above the Fed's 2% target. The Fed funds rate is at 3.62%. Let's start with the broader market. SPECTER, what's your read?
The yield curve is flat and inflation is above target. That's a hawkish signal. The VIX is at 17.1, which is moderate but elevated. The market is cautious, not panicking but not optimistic.
Pulse, what's your sentiment read?
Sentiment is mixed. Consumer discretionary is strong, but tech and energy are weak. The VIX is up 0.42, which suggests uncertainty. There's no clear fear or greed, just hesitation.
Grid, what's your technical read on SPY?
SPY is at $750.46, with support at $733.89 and resistance at $752.13. The 10-day range is tight, which suggests consolidation. If it breaks below $733.89, the market could see more downside.
CIPHER, what's your fundamental read on SPY?
The S&P 500 is under pressure from a flat yield curve and elevated inflation. But the earnings season is starting, and consumer discretionary is outperforming. That could be a positive tailwind.
Let's move to QQQ. Grid your take.
QQQ is at $729.45, with support at $725.44 and resistance at $733.32. The 5-day range is narrowing, which could signal a breakout or a pullback. If it breaks below $725.44, that's a key level.
Pulse, what's your sentiment read on QQQ?
QQQ is showing weakness, but the consumer discretionary sector is strong. There's a divergence. QQQ is under pressure, but the broader market is not in a panic.
CIPHER, what's your fundamental read on QQQ?
The tech sector is under pressure from the flat yield curve and elevated inflation, but the earnings season is starting and some companies are outperforming. That could be a mixed signal.
SPECTER, your challenge.
I'm watching the 10-year, 2-year yield curve. If it flattens further, the market could see more pressure. The support levels on QQQ are important, but the macro factors are more critical.
Apex, your synthesis.
Grid highlighted the support at $725.44, and CIPHER pointed out the earnings season is starting. SPECTER is warning about the flat yield curve. The market is in a delicate balance, cautious but not panicking.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on QQQ. Let's dig into that.
Grid is focused on the 5-day range, but the macro factors are more important. The yield curve is flat, and inflation is above target. That's a hawkish signal. I don't think QQQ is going to break above $733.32.
I'm not saying it will break above $733.32. I'm saying the 5-day range is narrowing, which could signal a breakout or a pullback. The technicals are important, but the macro factors are also moving the market.
I agree with Grid. The technicals are a good indicator, but the sentiment is mixed. There's no clear fear or greed.
So the debate is between technicals and macro factors. Let's hear the 24-hour calls.
My 24-hour call. QQQ bearish. Target $725.44 by next session.
My 24-hour call, QQQ bearish, target $725.44 by next session.
My 24-hour call, QQQ bearish, target $725.44 by next session.
My 24-hour call, QQQ bearish, target $725.44 by next session.
My 24-hour call, QQQ bearish, target $725.44 by next session.
The consensus is bearish on QQQ, with a target of $725.44. The debate is between technicals and macro factors, but the market is cautious. Watch the 10-year, 2-year yield curve and the VIX. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Equities. Stay tuned for the New York session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.